What is cracking? Shayna, it's been a minute. What is poppin'? How are you? What's cracking? Glad to see you here. Do I have any videos? I do not have any videos on lenses for YouTubers. I think that's what you're talking about. We'll talk a little bit when we get started. Mr. Moderator. All right, I'm gonna move a light around. Un momento. You guys get to see me work. I'm gonna move a light around. Make some adjustments. I added some new Pavo tubes to the Aspire Red mic. Aspire Red mic. Let's make some adjustments in the corner. Let's fix that corner over there. Is it blue? Oh, that's not too bad, but that's not the right light. I gotta get into the other light. There you go. Blue and red. Is it this one? Not that one. Glenda, I'm trying to show you. That's the potato cam. The potato cam. Is it this one? There she is. Upside down. There you go. She's hanging out. She looks suspicious. She looks suspicious. She looked like she was doing something she shouldn't have been doing. What is going on, fam? How are you guys doing today? Laura, how have you been? Oh, y'all are coming out the woodworks today. I see how you guys are doing. Coming out the woodworks. Putting smiles on my face. Putting smiles on my face because I only have one face. So not faces. All right, lighting looks all right. We got the lighting. I feel like I'm missing. Oh, I am missing my hair light back here. Ooh, we can mess around with some dramaticness because I was messing around with some dramaticness. But anyway, what is going on? What is going on? How are you guys doing? So happy to see Shayna here. It's been a minute. I hope you are doing well. And now without having any music on, I feel like it's just too quiet. What do you guys think? My epidemic sound has been K-Walk, what is cracking? How are you doing today? David, what is poppin'? How are you doing today? Let's see. She's pacing now. Where did I put that squeaky toy? Listen, I was on a call earlier. And a Zoom call earlier, and she was just all over the place. She wanted all the attention. And I'm like, if you don't cut it out, let's see. All right. Can bring this up a little bit. Let me make some adjustments so you guys can hear the music. Let's bring this up over here. I feel like this level should be good. Paul said he spies a red mic. What do you guys think? You like this? You know, I had to go out and get a new mic. I relented for a good amount of time I did not want, I didn't. This is my baby. I still have to call and get it set up. I got a new mic and I said, well, I might as well, if I get a new mic, I might as well make it mine. And so I took the opportunity yesterday to customize it, courtesy of Mr. Keith Pelzer. I did create a YouTube community post. And I gave him some credits. So if you want to learn how to customize your Shure SM7B, I would say definitely check out Keith's video. I used some vinyl wrap. Listen, so you guys want to hear my struggle. And no, my lights are not on, K-Walk. I see you guys. So you guys know, I am a car girl. I say it all the time. That's how I started on YouTube. I have a handful of YouTube videos on like car things, removing a radio, a head unit, moving panel trims and things like that. So I've always been into cars and customization and stuff. And one of the things that I did say I was thinking about doing was vinyl wrapping. I wanted to try to get into at least not a whole car, but I did want to get into vinyl wrapping the trims and customizing the interior. And what that is basically taking vinyl wrap. And what's cool about vinyl wrap is that it's not permanent. So on things like this, it's very easy to just pull off. I'm sure Glenda and Paul know, right? Like a little bit about vinyl wrapping. It's just, paper. And so that's what this is. You can get, there's automotive vinyl wrap. I ordered the brand Vivid with extra V's, Vivid. Where did a phrase coming out the woodwork come from? Now I'm curious to the internet. Did I say coming out the woodwork? Was that me? Listen, don't be out here trying to squirrel me, okay? Luis, okay, what is going on? Thank you for coming through. Sammy, superstar, what's poppin'? How are you? Could come down more. All right, sorry. I'm like trying to get caught up and have a conversation with you guys. Thanks, K-Walk. You like the mic, Luis? You like the mic? You've watched this video before, Sammy. Mics are like t-shirts. It's always good to change it up. True story. See, that is legit. Let's put these comments over here out of the way. Let's be a little bit different. No, not that. Okay. That is so true, Louis. I like that. And so there's a handful of brands, vinyl wrap brands. If this is something you guys want to do, I would recommend either the Real Deal 3M vinyl wrap, automotive wrap. They do have knockoffs, so don't get the knockoff. Or Avery, Avery. Avery also sells automotive vinyl wrap. And then Vivid is kind of like 3M and Avery are like the top of the line. And then Vivid, look at this one. Look at her. She's chasing her tail. She was doing something. Look, she heard. She say, "What you talk about me?" Look, she looks like she's going to attack me. Guys, save me. She's giving me the look. She knows I'm talking about her. I don't want to make any sudden movements. She's like, "Mom, what'd you say?" She's a bully. Listen, she's a pit bull. She is legit a bully. Did you see how she just stepped to me in these streets? I got you on camera. I'd be running from her. She's not vicious. She just likes to play. She likes to give all the hugs and kisses. But she be doing that. She be stepping to me. Anyway. So the brand that I got, it's from Amazon, Vivid vinyl wraps, have all different colors. Carbon fiber, whites, pearls, glosses, all of that good stuff. And so if you really want to do it, I also suggest a heat gun, because the vinyl wrap, you heat the vinyl wrap up and you make it pliable. It becomes stretchy. So you heat the vinyl wrap up, you make it pliable. And then what that does is, like, for like the corners over here, right around the edges, this was all one. I did this bracket here with just one strip. And so I put one long rectangular shape around this bracket here. Blow dried it. And then you stretch it around the corners and then you like conform it to the shape. So I'm telling you guys this because I started to record this because I said, oh, this will be cool to, you know, do maybe like a time lapse. I can do it. I can turn it into a short. I can turn it into a video or something like that. Right. So I don't have a heat gun. I used to. I have to go back and get another heat gun. So I said, you can use a blow dryer. The blow dryer will just take longer. You put it on high setting and it'll just take longer to heat the space up. I'm just gonna give you guys that visual there while we talk. And so I have, you know, my desk. I have my cables and stuff all cleaned, and I have surge protectors mounted to the bottom of my desk, which is what my setup is. And I connected the blow dryer, so I'm recording. I put the overhead camera on. Right? I got the angle ready, put the overhead camera on, turned on eCam. And I said, all right, I'm going to record this and then I can edit it after the fact. Turned on the blow dryer, blew a fuse. What is it? Popped the circuit. What it tripped. I can't even. You guys know I can't talk. Tripped the circuit breaker in the whole basement. It just went boof. All the lights turned off. The computer turned off. The monitor turned off. The camera is running off of a dummy battery connected to a USB port, a powered USB hub. Camera turned off. And I'm like, and I was like, I thought it was me because I was like turning it off and on, turning it off and on or whatever. So I put the video to record again. So I went through the same thing, opened up eCam, turned on my computer, hit record, started recording, and I recorded, and it was from the beginning. I started to, you got to take the cage apart. So you take this part off, and then from this part, you take out. So there's two covers that the Shure SM7B comes with. I just did the regular cover. I took off the yoke, right? And then I'm like, all right, so it's all taken apart. Cut my first square piece of vinyl wrap. Went to do it again a second time. Boof, tripped the circuit. I got so frustrated. I was like, ah! So I had to move the blow dryer to the bathroom. And for whatever reason, maybe, I don't know. Why would okay, so nerds, let's all talk. Let's all talk, nerds. And I see Kali, I always do this because I've been talking to Kali from LSP. So now, like, my brain, I see Kali coming in. What is poppin', girl? How are you? My boy Marcus, what's cracking? What's poppin'? I see this guy, PBJ, out here in the streets. What are you guys doing? Did I say, you did say that. You said those words. So many words, you forget how it all began. 100%. When did I say coming out the woodwork? And why did I say coming out the woodwork? Why did I say that? Y'all just like to distract me. I've done some vinyl on cars before. Really? That's a cool fun fact. That is really cool, Glenda. All right. You're talking to the car girl in me. Very cool. Very cool. Let's see. What do we have? I need this dude right here. I was thinking about you. I swear. Oh my God. I was thinking about you, and I was going to send you a text message with this because I know you would love this. And I was like, I haven't seen what? I'm about to stand up, but if I stand up, you guys can't see me because the way my angle is. So if I stand up and I'll be like, oh, you're gonna see my top half. What is going on? I can do this. I can show my excitement this way. I can be like, David, Digital Buddha. Hi, David. That's uncomfortable for me and kind of awkward, kind of scary. Look like a little bit of a creeper if I do that in the camera. Don't want to do that. How are you? I hope I made you laugh. Paul Duncan, Mr. Moderator. I also thought of this. I need a UPS. Because I was doing my remote production and I thought of my high profile client that I'm remote producing for currently this month. And I said, yeah, if that's going to be the business that I get into, like on a very serious note, I did say if my objective, not if I'm trying, my objective is to land more clients to remote produce jobs for them. And I have a very high profile client right now. It would probably make sense, had this whole thought process, Paul, it would probably make sense for me to go buy a UPS for down here. But here's the thing, Paul, I would also need one for upstairs because my main router is upstairs in my guest bedroom. So like the Fios, what they give you, the Fios modem, that piece to receive the fiber. And then my Eero setup, the main hub is all in the bedroom. So in theory, like if I really wanted to make sure, I would have to put one upstairs and keep my router connected to that one there, and then have a more powerful one for down here. So we should probably talk a little bit about that because I think it would make sense to invest, because that's the business that I'm looking to go into, right? That's how I'm trying to build in more revenue streams. So we were talking about this, or we were talking about vinyl wrap. So that was the basically why you guys didn't have a video or at least a short. Cause I was like, oh, I can at least do a short really quick and then talk about it and then do the video in the long run, was because I got so frustrated the second time that the circuit breaker tripped. The blow dryer is still in the bathroom. And what I was doing was I was cutting here, and then I would take the strip. Once I cut the paper, I would take the microphone and the whole strip to the bathroom and blow dry. And I was literally standing in my bathroom, blow drying, making the paper pliable, and then wrapping it. And once I got it wrapped to the shape as best as possible, then I sat back down. You'll need an X-Acto knife to do it. So you want to cut as best as possible. The insides of the seams, from here, you guys can't see it. And what I will also recommend, so I'm going to redo it. So there is going to be, I just got to figure out maybe if I'll move upstairs, and I'm going to redo the mic, because there's an ugly seam over here that you guys can't see, and you guys can't see it. Why do it again? Who's it bothering? Me, the perfectionist in me. We talked about this on Sunday, about me being a perfectionist, right? And because it's one of those things that it's like, oh, now I've gone onto this journey of learning this new thing. I don't want to half-ass it. I want to learn it, and I want to actually learn to do it right. It won't be like cutting corners and things like that. So the other piece, so I would recommend, if you are looking to do this, Shayna, girl, that's what I said too. That's the other thing. Extension cord from the bathroom to my next set. Right. Too much pulling. Right. Exactly. So that's what I said, because I do have extension cord. So I was like, well, I can just pull the extension cord into the outlet in the bathroom and then just bring the blow dryer. So same page, 100%. Oh, I'm glad I made you smile. You made me smile. We made each other smile. We got to catch up. Oh, see, that's what that is. Listen, I did say, now you're right. I do remember that I did say that you and Laura came out the woodworks. That is funny. Paul says he has two, one for the computers and stuff and one for the network. Okay, so then that would be the wave, the move. So yeah, Paul, we'll talk more about that. Yes, I would need two. Okay, all right. Yep, I got to invest. Hey there. I saw the puppy. Deborah, one of my favoritist, probably the favorite business owner that I work with. I saw the puppy that you're getting. She's getting a puppy. So cute. Glenda says, better to be blow drying in the bathroom rather than falling through glass under the shower. I know. Don't bring that up. Okay, so then you'll need good quality vinyl wrap, a heat source, whether it's an actual heat gun or a blow dryer, an X-Acto knife. If you can get like a little kit, so if you're buying vinyl wrap from like Amazon, they actually have a little kit for squeegees that have the bottom of the squeegee is like a felt tip to protect and not scratch the material. I would recommend a squeegee. You can also use a credit card, and you wrap a microfiber towel around the credit card, because what you want to do is you want to massage out any creases or any air bubbles. She's got the zoomies, so I feel like she's gonna bother me tonight. And what I did not have, and I meant to buy it and totally forgot, was knifeless tape. So the reason why the knifeless tape is so important is because when you have something like an area like this where there's a curve or you need to create a new seam or something like that, what you do is, and so this is why I'm going to do it again because I want to do it the right way, is that where I created the seam where the cable is. I can't really show you guys on stream. But right over here, there's imperfections because right where the cable is, right along here, right, I had to open up, obviously because it's cylindrical. So it's one paper and you got to cut it somewhere. So the best way to make the cut is if I would have, let's say we'll just use from here, I would have put one line of knifeless tape in a nice straight line, right? So before you lay the vinyl wrap down, you lay down the knifeless tape from here to here in a nice straight line. Then you take the vinyl wrap and you wrap the vinyl all the way around it on top of the knifeless tape. You can overlap it. And so then once you're done, and again, if there's things you need to do, so I would use knifeless tape for two different sections. I would do obviously to cut the paper to have a straight seam, a straight line. And then also where the cable is, right around here, I would do knifeless tape to just create an opening for the top and the bottom. This is Halloween music. I just played all my songs, so we're not in Halloween anymore. Let me just change that. Oh, so it likes it in order? Okay, there you go. I'm like, wait, that's Halloween scary music. Anyway. And so then what you do is once you overlap the vinyl wrap and you're good to go, with the nice knifeless tape, you kind of just pull up. And what it does is because it's under your vinyl wrap, you just pull it up and it cuts the paper for you. And if you did it in a straight line, it's going to cut it up and it becomes a clean seam, clean incision, and then it'll be much more cleaner. But I think for my first try, I'm very happy with how it came out. I did this part here, and these are two different parts. So you have the yoke. The yoke is separate from then this part here, and I used, like I said, the X-Acto knife. I could have tried to do the bottom. Trying to turn, there you go. Probably see a little bit better, right? So I wanted to try to do this part here. I'm not that experienced yet with vinyl wrapping. So I said, I'm gonna leave it alone. But even with the lights on at this point, you can see that I wrap the cover here, move it over here, nice and clean. It's a nice matte red. And the reason why I decided to go this route was because I was looking at the windscreens. Doc has a colored windscreen. Katie has colored windscreens. Paul, do you have colored windscreens? Tom Buck has colored windscreens. And of course, Keith Pelzer has colored windscreens. And so I was going to get a colored windscreen and do the reverse. I was going to get a red windscreen and just keep the SM7B black. But the windscreens that they sell are not the ones that clip on. It's just a foam cushion. They ship from Europe. They're going to take weeks. All of that stuff. And so I was like, well, why don't you just do vinyl wrap? You can get the stuff. You'll get it in a day. You've always wanted to vinyl wrap. And that's what made me do it. And I do like the aesthetic of the black, the little black accents right between the knobs, the foam, the lettering here, and then the rest of the pieces. I'm actually really happy with how it came out. So no one else has said anything about noise. I have music in the background, but Paul would have texted me if the music was that distracting. You know, you guys are quick to yell at me, even if there was noise. So maybe it was from maybe it's you, because if there was legit noise, Paul would have definitely texted me. So the lights. So I have recessed lighting. We've talked about this a few times. I have recessed lighting, Shayna, and then I have it connected to my Stream Deck. So normally when I'm working my 9 to 5, this is what it looks like here. And right, so when I'm doing my Zoom calls and all the bank stuff, I usually have all my lights on, and I will put on I do have a Nanlite Forza 60B cob light. That's my main light here. And so since we're talking about lighting, you can also see, depending on the angle and how I'm talking to you guys, you can't really see too much of a glare, right? So if I talk to you here, so if I were to just make this adjustment this way and talk to you at this angle, you don't really see any glare in my lights. Now, if I move up, you can see the glare, right? So you can see that's the softbox. That's very uncomfortable for me. But basically, the way I have my lights set up, you always want to make sure that you set up your lights at a 45-degree angle. And so you do see some slight glare. Again, usually if I'm just talking like this, you really can't tell if I have the lights off. You can see, where's that glare? That glare, this one, yep, that glare is coming from this monitor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off my main monitor. And so I'm using the teleprompter. I have a 32-inch ultra wide that I use, but now I'm looking at you guys at the teleprompter, and you can see that the glare that I was actually getting on this lens is from the ultra wide. So if I really wanted to eliminate pretty much all glare, unless I'm like tilting my angle, like my eyes like that, and I'm not going to be do that, or, you know, if I make slight movements. But if I come over this way, the glare is pretty much done. Can I tilt this up? Yeah. I can tilt it up a little bit more. I do lose, right? So I do lose some of that. It's way too tilted up. There you go. I think that's the setup. But with the lights at the 45-degree angle, I'm supposed to have the hair light behind me. I do have a hair light right over here. I'm going to turn it on so you can see. Look at my finger. It's off. Right now, the hair light is on. And what that does is that gives me a little bit more fill light, and it also helps to separate me from the background. I have it on fairly low brightness. If I wanted to make it a little bit brighter, I can make this as bright as possible, right? So now you can see my overhead lights are still off. So that's the Elgato key light. That's probably at 100%. Looks like my lights are on all the way. And again, created the separation between myself and the stairs behind me, myself in the back corner. I don't like it that bright. I like to have some drama. So let me just, I'm doing it. I'm lowering it with the Stream Deck in 5% increments. I actually keep my hair light. I think I keep my hair light to about 30%. So this looks good. That looks about right with how I normally have it. Right, just to give me a little bit right over here if I wanted to. I don't mind it being, so what happens is over here it's a little bit dark, but then I usually get some fill with having the monitor on, because right now the monitor's off. And so again, you see that the glare came back, and that's from the monitor itself, right? So if I look at the monitor, you can definitely see the glare coming in from there, and you can see it right over here in the corner. But then that helps to give me a little bit of fill light. So, let's see. Gretchen says, love that red. It's really saturated, a clear color. Thanks. So we were talking about drama. Where's my phone? I was messing around with some things. And oh, Paul texted me 22 minutes ago. That was probably, thanks, Paul. So Paul did text me about the music to lower it, but I did lower it. That was after I saw K-Walk's comment. Thanks, Paul. All right, so let us turn off the hair light behind me. And I was messing around with lighting yesterday. I really liked this setup. I mean, it's going to be dramatic, right? It's definitely a change. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to my app. Cash register? K-Walk, what are you talking about, a cash register? I'm so confused. What is happening? No noise. Music is just right. Thank you, Deborah. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's see. Bright light, bright light. Kristen, what is going on? Well, Kristen, we are supposed to be talking about, we've been 30 minutes in, but I knew I was going to spend some time talking about my microphone. The new Macs came out, and we here, the majority of the people here, we are all Mac fanatics, Mac enthusiasts, Mac evangelists. And new Macs were released today. So depending on your budget and depending on what you're looking for, you might want to get a Mac. Very little glare. Very nice. Okay, cool. So check this out. So glad you're still here. So obviously you see I got my RGB lighting. I have my, I did turn off the hair light behind me. This is my key light, which is a Nanlite Forza 60B. It's a cob light. I do have a soft box on it, and it's mounted to my ceiling, angled down. It's a very, it's one of the smaller soft boxes that you can get, because you can get soft boxes that are really big. But because I'm so close to it, literally right here, I didn't need a big one, right? Because the bigger they go, the brighter you are, or the bigger the soft box, the more the area that you're gonna light up. I didn't want to light up the area around me. I just wanted to light up myself. So I think this one, this soft box, it's a parabolic. We're going to get technical with the terms. Parabolic soft box from Small Rig. You can get them on sale with a coupon for like 90 bucks. Collapsible, really great quality. I'm really, really liking it. It's my main light. And then I have my RGB lights, right? So I got these lights back here are the Govee stair lights. I call them my stair lights. They're the Govee, I think, bar lights. I don't know. They're from Govee. And then all my lights in the background that you're seeing are from Nanlite. They're Nanlite Pavo tubes. I have a mixture of T8 Pavo tubes, 15Cs, and a 15X. So check this out. Let's turn off the Pavo tubes. So those were the T8s that I just turned off. In the same corners, I have both T8s and 15C. So right now you're just looking at the 15C, the lighting. There's a red one right over here out of frame that you guys can't see. And then there's a blue one right behind the palm tree there. So let's turn those off next. So I turned off the red one. Let me turn off the blue one is off. So now you can start to see how the lighting dramatically is starting to shift. My color tone, right? It's going to give definitely a different image. It's going to change the vibe. So depending on the mood and the ambiance, you can even take it a step further. I have, so above my baggage sign, that's a 15X that I have mounted from the wall and angled out and down so that it just shines on the baggage sign there. And I don't even have that at full brightness. That goes up. That'll light up the whole room if I wanted that one light lit up. And if we turn off that 15X, and so now, I feel like that's still too bright. Let me see. Or maybe the angle? I don't know what's happening here. Nope. Let's see what brightness I have this. I think I have this at 30% brightness. So now what you are seeing is basically the one light behind me. I liked 70 songs. I don't know what happened here. Oh, these are like sound effects. Okay, there you go. Like, what happened? So I feel like this is a little bit too bright if I wanted to just bring it down. And this is 30% brightness on my softbox. That's super bright. If I bring this down a little bit. Oh, I think I know one other thing. What do we got here? Well, I do have the LUT on. I feel like, I don't know. But I know that there are a lot of creators. Come over this way. There are a lot of creators that will just kind of have something a little bit dramatic. I feel like I look washed out. Let me know if you guys think I look washed out. Let's see. What are you saying? Hold on, K-Walk. I'm old and getting senile. I think I may have had something open in the background. Comes with every new Apple announcement. You guys are funny. Oh my goodness. And it gives the Ecamm pillow a nice glow. Yes, that's why I do that. The Ecamm pillow, I do that there. But I do know that there are a handful of, YouTubers that like to create this little bit of drama, right? Create this little bit of ambiance where everything is kind of dark in the background. And even if I wanted to go back and turn on the light above my baggage sign just to have that little bit, we can go back there. What's happening with my app is acting wonky. Just go into the app really quick. There you go. I'm just adjusting. I also use a LUT. So I'm adjusting the LUT a little bit to try to give me a little bit more vibrance in my skin tone. So the LUT right now, because I turned off all my lights, I just have the main one light. The LUT is at 63% in Ecamm. I'm going to turn the LUT off. Hey. No, that's not what I want to do. So we'll remember that. So this is 63% with the LUT. And then this is it. So you can see, that's at 0. It definitely changes just a little bit of the saturation and stuff, right? If I go back up. So this is 100%. That makes me look to like my skin tones. If we look at some of my skin tones, it like makes me look like orangey and stuff. So that's at 100%. I had it at... So now we're looking at it at 60%. So this makes it, I feel like because of the way the light is, the way I'm looking at it, it's a little bit more true to life, right? So I wanted to just have some more saturation pop, a little bit more of the reds, more of the colors, more of my skin tone. And that helps. I started using LUTs when I was using the green screen before I bought my house. Because with the green screen, you have to use so many different lights. I was very easily washed out and stuff. And so I used the LUT to combat all of the brightness of the lights to get a really good green screen in the background. And so now, there you go. See, so then, and this is, that's a whole other tech. So check this out. I turned on the light in the background. And I can see that by turning on the white light in the background, look at my skin tone. Let's do this again. Let's go through this. This was definitely not the direction that I wanted to take. We were going to talk about the Macs today, but I think this is turning out to be a good conversation. Shayna, thank you. Talk about lights. So check this out. I turned on the light in the background, and this is something with your settings. You can, at this point, and that's because I'm messing with my lighting, right? So it's really one of those things that when you start to build out your studio and when you start to build out the lighting and your camera, you usually, and you listen to, if you watch videos from both Doc and Diana, they talk about getting a gray card because you want to set the lighting, right? The white balance to your camera appropriately to the ambiance, to your background, your skin tone, and the brightness. I'm not always going to be changing my lighting setup, right? I was doing a video yesterday and I kind of messed around with some stuff. But if you are, let's say I wanted to say, you know what, I'm going to take a break from the RGB lighting for a little bit of time. And I do want to have more of this because this is still dramatic, right? I want to have more of that dramatic look where I just have one light on. I don't want any of the RGBs, and then have my main fill light. So then technically the right way to do it would be to go into my camera settings, use a gray card, put the gray card in front of my camera, go into the settings, and then adjusting the white balance appropriately. So what I want to show you is I'm going to look at my, I feel like you guys have to be seeing it because I'm seeing it. Looks like I was just sun-kissed a little bit. Like we're in the spring and it was a nice warmer day and I was out in the sun all day. This is what I look like when I start to get a tan. right? My olive complexion starts to come out a little bit more. And in the winter, I become more pale. So now I'm going to turn the light off in the background because you're going to see what the camera does. It's really important to know these settings and to understand your white balance, your ISO, and all of that stuff, how it really affects your picture, especially for those of us that have colored skin complexions, right? Skin tones, because then it's not going to be a true. And Diana talks about that. Diana Gladney, don't tell her that I can't say her name today. Diana Gladney talks about that a lot as a content creator of color, really understanding your picture profiles and really setting up your white balance and your lighting to give an accurate representation of what you really look like. All right, so let me stop talking. Let's turn off the light. So look at me. Hi, guys. See my skin tone? I'm looking a little bit on the borderline orangish, suntanish, like what is it? Tanning salon-ish. I feel like I'm borderlining there. Let's turn off this light. And it was very slow, very like, I feel like it pulled back. I hope you guys caught it. But my skin tone went to more of a, I want to call it like, look at it. Even now it's changing. Ghost, like paley, ghosty, washed out. That's how I said it before. So, and I tried to and I noticed that, right? And I tried to use the LUT to combat that, but the LUT can only do so much. So then if I wanted to have, let's say I wanted to have this setup like this, where let's say I didn't want any lights on in the background, in order to fix what you guys are looking at right now, that's when I would absolutely need to pull out the gray card. I would absolutely need to go to my camera settings and start really messing around with it to dial in my picture profile the right way with the white balance and all of that stuff to get, because this is not what I really look like at all. Even if it's the middle of the winter, I am not this pale. So let's turn the light back on, right? So let's do that dramatic shift in difference. Let's turn the light back on, and that the only light that we're talking about is the one, my 15X, which is above my baggage sign. And it takes a little bit. I'm orange, right? So dramatic difference. So you can see the skin tone shift. And the reason why I'm so much more tanner, like I said, if we call it, I went to the tanning salon and I just came out the tanning salon today, is because I did turn on that LUT. So if I come back now check this out. I'm going to bring okay, so now having that one light on in the background, and that's because this is normally, you guys know, I always have lights on behind me. So this is more of a truer picture for my specific settings. Now I'm going to bring this same LUT, before I bring it down to 0, let's bring the same LUT back up to 100%. Right now we're at 60%. And this is 100%. So it's from Editor's Keys. That's the company. And Editor's Keys, I'm going to look a little orange. I'm going to be on the pumpkin side for now. Editor's Keys, I found Editor's Keys through LumaFusion. They make keyboards and keyboard overlays for shortcuts with using the most popular editing, photography editing, video editing, music DAWs and stuff like that. That's what Editor's Keys are known for. But they also, at one point, and I ordered a keyboard cover from them, they also had a LUT package for free. And it has a few different LUTs. The one that I'm using in specific is called Editor's Keys Studio Glow. Your skin is starting to match my hair. Exactly, Gretchen. Exactly. Right, so this is at 100%. I would never have this LUT at 100% because why would I want to look like Gretchen's red hair, like a ginger on my skin tone? That's not good. So we came back to this at 60%. So now I'm at 60%, a little bit better. Let me bring this down to 50%. And so, you know, the other thing for you guys to also take into account, and I keep looking like this, is because, so as you start to get into the realm of monitors, because it's all correlated, we're going nerdy today, right? It's all correlated, but as you start to get into the realm, if what you're doing is some form of editing, whether it's video editing or photography, picture editing, you want to make sure that you have a monitor that has an accurate color profile. So as you start to look at more expensive monitors, and that's one of the reasons why Apple's Studio Display is so expensive, is because it's one of the most accurate color profiles that you can have confidence that if you're editing an orangey brownish color, that's what you're actually going to see on the monitor. Because what happens is if you take the same picture, right? So what I'm looking at you guys through is through an iPad, just a regular iPad, the latest one that they just came out with, their iPad 10th version. There is a slight difference in the image versus my LG monitor. So that's why as I'm making these adjustments, I'm looking between both my monitors because I want to see, and what they do say is that the iPad screens are really good representations. They have very accurate color profiles. So I'm still on the orange side, so I say all of that, right, just to talk about knowing if you're doing any sort of color correction, if you're using LUTs or anything like that, be mindful that if you don't have a higher quality monitor. So I just saw, give me 1 second, because I saw Koa run up the stairs. She's barking. Tyler's barking. I want to make sure nobody's at my front door. I think we're good. So if you are making some sort of color corrections and things like that, and you don't have a higher quality monitor, or if you had the same monitor for 6-7 years, just keep that also in the back of mind that you're going to be limited with what your image really is looking like, because how accurate is that color profile? A lot of these monitors now, the more expensive ones, are coming with a card and giving the certification of what the test results passed. Like, that's how legit it is. So depending on if you guys have recently bought a monitor, or if you're in the market to buy a monitor and you buy a quality one, you may get a card. And what that card is that it went through rigorous testing of the color profile, and it'll give you the results of what that color profile is. And it's like 99% or 98% or something like that. K-Walk says, Lady D just did a great video on settings for short form and ISO settings. Yeah, you know, Diana's just the best. Just the best. Let's see. I'm becoming white. I know I'm a little behind on the comments. Oh, honey, you don't know Vale? Are you trying to match the mic? You guys are funny. I'm just watching this. So Gretchen is a photographer, so Gretchen understands what I'm saying. Gretchen says, that's why I have a separate calibration setting for my monitors just when I edit photos. Otherwise, when I print, things can get wacky. Exactly that, right? So you can also manually go into your monitor settings and adjust the color calibration. And that's exactly why, because then, for a perfect example, thank you, Gretchen, that when you go to print something or you send a video file to someone else, you think you're editing it, whatever it is, right? Or you're editing a photo. If you're someone like Gretchen, you're editing a photo and you think you're editing it true to life colors, and then they get it and somebody else puts it on their TV and they're like, what the hell? What's happening here? All right, so let's just go back. So normally, it's always, the LUT is always in my particular setup. Just like I said, I fell in love with using a LUT when I was using a green screen. When I had the green screen, I used it at a higher intensity. Now I usually bring it at, so we're looking at 50%. I don't know if I might have used it at around 50% with the green screen, possibly. Now let's bring this down to 30%. And I feel like, looking between the two monitors, I'm gonna look at my arm, right? Because I can look at my arm And I feel like this is a much more accurate representation that if you were to see me out in the street and you'd be like, yeah, India was popping. Because that's what we're going to do, right? That's actually what happened when I went to People of Video. Gretchen and K-Walk can attest. When I went to People of Video, I walked in, I was late. And when everybody saw me, that is literally the fam was all like, yeah, I loved it. But now, right, so I dialed in my settings. I dialed in the LUT where I feel like this is a more accurate representation of my skin tone. It gives a nice little touch. Then, and again, just going back to what I was trying to show you guys, right, that if I just wanted the one light on, all right, it creates a much more dramatic effect. And I don't have the hair light on. If we wanted to go back and turn the hair light on, you can see just right around, it's right around, my hair light's literally right above there. So right around in this area, you can see. So if I wanted to have, you know, like that, I think that if I were going for a dramatic effect, I think I would leave the hair light off, leave that one light on. And then I'd say, let's get close and personal. Up close and personal. Let's talk. What do you guys want to talk about today? The matte red Shure SM7B. I don't know. You guys are getting what I'm trying to say. Yes, K-Walk, right? The Samsung Smart Monitor M8 is one of those monitors that have a really good color profile. And I remember you did say that you went to Best Buy. You got a great deal on it. Paul says, the key to using a LUT is making sure you start with a good shot, white balance, exactly that, right? So you want to make sure that your shot is as white balanced as possible. The best way to use it to set up your white balance is by using a gray card. Gray cards on Amazon cost about $10, $15, and it's literally a card with different shades of gray. Diana has a few. She has more than one video on her channel that talks about why you want to use a gray card, how to use a gray card, how she uses a gray card in her setting. And I also know that Doc Rock has also done live streams where he has pulled out, I don't have a gray card. Don't judge me. That's not what today's session is about. I do not use a gray card. I've been too cheap. I don't know, because it's not cheap. I've been too, whatever it is, I haven't gotten it. I keep saying I'm going to get one, and then I'm like, oh, but my picture looks good. I'm good. So true, color accuracy. Right, exactly. Anthony, what is cracking? How are you doing today? Very glad to see you here. This is the color, the quality and accuracy of monitors is also super important in anything visual, from photography, videos, and the art that you bring into the digital realm, right? There's so many of these pieces work together, and it's important to understand that and know what you are ultimately looking to achieve. That's so crucial. And like, because I do a lot of live streaming, right? Like for me, making sure that the accuracy of myself, my studio, the image that I portray out to you guys, I want to make sure that it is as accurate as possible. So it was really important for me to understand all of that stuff. Thanks, Anthony. So, you know, we went into that long, drawn out thing. Although I think it was good because we talked about light placement. You can see my softbox and my glasses, right? We talked about the light placement, having the angle. Talked about, a lot of people sometimes forget that the glare from your monitors, no matter how well you can fix your lighting, your key light up there or whatever. And so now check this out. Notice that you see, because as I'm moving my camera, and that's because I have it on, it's probably because I have it on auto ISO, my camera. So if you really want to get nerdy, this is why I know Doc has said it, and I'm sure Diana has said it, why they will say, get a gray card, set your white balance to whatever it is, and do not turn on your automatic settings. That's why when you go through those videos, the videos say, put your camera on manual mode and do everything. Set your camera to manual everything, because now check this out. As I put my arm up, my camera is trying to fight with everything that it's now bringing into to focus. My hand is a little bit whiter, right? Like these skin tones, and because my hand is also, the other thing is that the lighter tone of my hand is reflecting, it's creating a reflection of my softbox. So because my hand is creating that, adding in that light and creating a reflection of the softbox, the settings on my camera that I have on auto ISO start trying to compensate for that. Now, as I bring my hand down, the auto ISO is going to adjust, and you can see that it got a little bit darker, right? So if you're someone that, as you're doing videos, if you start to do that, the last thing you want, right, if you're, whatever it is, the last thing you want, you can notice here how much paler I get with my hands being out. And if I put my hands back down, the camera starts to go into more of what I turned on for that LUT. So that's another thing that if I knew, now that I'm talking to you guys, I'm probably going to order a gray card and fix that this weekend because it's going to drive me crazy. In order to stop that from happening is by manually setting your ISO and your white balance. When I forget to reset and then I print, nothing matches. This is a costly mistake in ink and paper on a 17x22 printer with 12 ink cartridges. Woof. Spoken from a photographer, right? Like, she understands, she gets it. That's huge. Koa has checked out everything upstairs. All must be good. Yeah, she's back. Absolutely. She comes, she leaves. That's why is that like, that's like a false sense of security, which is scary, but not. Because, living on my own where I live, having both dogs, although Tyler's older, Tyler is still bark. So having the both of them, if they're not barking, I'm like, I'm safe, I'm good. It's a false sense of security. Anyway, a gray card is cheaper than a Pavo tube. Just saying. You know what, Paul? Just saying. Just saying.
Gone.
Just saying. Right. He's on a roll today. He's on one.
Gone.
Gosh. This is Paul's last comment. Y'all better, you know what, Gretchen, don't be not Gretchen, Glenda, don't be jumping on his bandwagon, okay? What is happening here? But, so good stuff. We talked about placement of your lighting, understanding that, adding in a hair light if you want to give, because now, so let's talk about separation. I was even thinking about that as well. Because I don't have my hair light on, you can see my shoulder line. If I put my hands down, you can see this shoulder. Get it together. Stephanie Lou always gets it right. I do not. This shoulder here this one is a little bit more separated, but this one, especially because I'm wearing a black shirt, is blending, right? So my face is in focus, but there's not, when you start to look back here, especially on this side, there's not a lot of separation. So that's what the purpose of a hair light is. And one of the things that I was thinking about was my placement, because right now it's right here, which then technically doesn't take care of where the shadows come in. And again, that all just depends on what you're looking to, the ambiance you're looking to create, the drama, the effects that you're looking to create. Some people do like where it's brighter on one side. Caleb Pike is another source of great videos when it comes to lighting. Caleb Pike is amazing at understanding your lighting setup and understanding shadows and, having an angle and what type of vision you want to create for your videos or your live streams. If I really wanted to truly separate myself, the best thing for my particular setup is to move where my key light, my hair light is set, and have it set. I'm trying to do this. Have it set right here in the ceiling, right above me up there, and then angle down. Right now it's angled around here. So again, if we go and we turn that back on, because my hand is moving around, it's that automatic. Now I pointed it out to you guys and you guys can see. So let's let the camera auto ISO do what it does, get it back into the adjustment. And now if I turn on the hair light, right, it takes care of this side. So I need the key light, and that's because the hair light is literally right there. If I point, it is right over there. So that makes sense that when I turned the hair light on, it separated that part a little bit more. This part isn't separated. And so if I wanted to just separate myself completely, what I would need to do is just literally go above. I would have to like mark the placement of my chair, because you guys know that this is usually the angle that I talk to you guys at. Mark the placement of my chair, and then literally right there on the ceiling, move the key light, the hair light right there, so that the light lays behind me. But this isn't bad. And again, if I wanted to just make it a little bit brighter, I turned it off. Let me come back here. If I wanted to make it a little bit brighter, I can also kind of combat that, right? So now as I made it a little bit brighter, you can see here, you can see more of the shadow. This is now completely separated from the background, and there's a little bit of separation here. And so a lot of it is just really messing around with the settings. So let's see if I decide to lower that light, that brightness. If I take a look, my hair light right now is at 10% brightness. So the light that's pointing to right here is at 10% brightness. If I go to the Pavo tube, the 15X above the baggage sign, that's at 40% brightness. So if I bring this down to, let's say, 20%. So now you can see that at 20%, there's still, you can still see the sign, right? It still gives the accent. It still gives kind of that glow on the Ecamm pillow, the way K-Walk said. And then because I increase it, but again, this shoulder is still missing a little bit. And I don't mind that. I don't mind the look. But just to show you guys, like just messing around with different settings on your camera, different lightings, different lighting angles. I'm bringing the brightness from the key light up. And it, like I said, if I bring this up to 100%, bring this up to 100%. This is 100%. I would never. And I saw that John Lacey was here and I missed his comment. John, where'd you go? I don't know if you're still here. There's John. I got an instant tan. I'm looking at these comments. I missed these comments. Yes, I did get an instant tan. And now I'm back to being pale again, right? John says, I must admit I have 2 Elgato key lights and I never really need more than 4 or 5% of their, I'm glad I came back to this at this point, of their capability to light me, though I'm helped by a fairly large window. Exactly. This is one Elgato key light at 100%. Let me look at this again. This is 100% brightness. And the Kelvin on this key light I have set to 4700. I should probably change that if I come back. And I should change it to match this one. That's a problem, right? So again, I have different lights. So the light behind me is at 4700 Kelvin. This one's at 5200. So I can do 2 things. I can lower my main light to 4700. And so now we're at 4700. And you can see, again, the drastic change in tone. They're matching now. The lights, you always want to have it matching. This one I intentionally have at a much brighter, but that's because that's an accent light, right? So this one, I think I have like that at 7500 Kelvin, but that's because I want it to show the whiteness of the paper, the poster itself. But the lights that I'm using to organize, to put myself in focus, right, for myself, any lights that you're using, so whether it's a fill light coming in from this angle, whether it's a hair light, whether if you're using like a 3-point lighting system, that it's your main light, your key light, a fill light, and a hair light, the Kelvin should match. It should never be different, because then you're also going to set yourself up with your auto ISO and your white balance. I like this one at 5200. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my main light to 5200, and then I'm going to change my Elgato key light, my hair light, to match. So now this is 5200. We're still at 100%. This is way too bright. I would never have this bright, but just to show you guys, none of my lights are on. These are just my Nanlite Forza at 60B. And even if I were to take this and turn this off, that's the 60B. So you can see what the hair light really does. right? So because now I don't have my main light, my key light, I'm like washed out, but my background is all great. You guys can see the mess that Koa made between her basket of toys and her blanket and stuff. That came all into focus there. And so if we bring this brightness back down, I had it at 10%. This is 20% brightness. Still really bright because, again, if you're looking at the angle behind me, between that light, that's at 20%. And this is 20%. Still really bright. So I'm going to bring this back down. That's where I normally keep my hair light. We're at 10%, and then I'm going to turn my key light back on. And now we are good to go. And like I said, if I wanted to just turn my hair light off and have a little bit more of that drama, I still have the LUT. The LUT has remained on throughout these most recent tests. And so the LUT is on right now at 30%. Still kind of bright there, I feel like, for me and my eyes. So if I wanted to bring this down, we're at 24%. So now if we bring this down, that's 20%. Because the cob lights are also, that's a little bit too dark. Yeah, so I think 20% is good. So I usually do it between 20 and 30%. Listen, you want to see this one at 100%. This main light here, just to show you guys what this looks like. Fan control, I'm going to turn the fan on. So this is at 20%. And if I bring this up to, and so again, you see the auto ISO of the camera doing its thing. And this is my main light, my key light at 100% brightness. Now, if you're lighting a completely, so when would you want this? There are some reasons when you would want it at 100%. If let's say I had this light at the other end and I was sitting over here, then yeah, I'd need the 100% brightness because I'd need for it to fill more. But because I'm touching it right now, that's how close it is to me. I do not need it at full capacity. And so bring this down. This is at 30%. And the cob light has a built-in fan that you need to run the fan when you're using the brightness anything over 30%. So from 31% to 100%. But if you have your brightness set to 30% and below, I don't have the fan on. And why is that important? Well, that's important because, again, we're live streaming. The sound, the background, you want to eliminate, right, as much sounds as possible. So I don't need to have the fan on from the cob light. And 30% brightness is still too bright for me. So I'm just going to bring this back down to 20%. And now we are good to go. Pasty. Going back. You guys are funny. Oh, look at who's here. Hey, girl. How are you doing, Mamacita? Went through a whole lighting thing. Paul Burke is being very reserved today. Yeah, Paul probably just dialed in and then he left. Let me see. Great autofocus. Autofocus is great, but manual settings with the gray card is even better. 100%, right? What? Did you guys see Koa run? Listen, she be running and sometimes I'd be like, run. Listen, if you know, you know. You with a group of friends, your friends start running, don't say nothing. You run with them. Run now, ask questions later. Okay? Run now. Let's get to where we going. Ask questions later. Koa is one of my protectors here. So Koa just ran. Don't be surprised if I get up and run with her because it's like, all right, girl, we got to get to where, once she stops running, then I can be like, what happened, girl? Tell me. The only thing is that your friends will give you the answers and Koa will not. But you know what, Team Paul, closet moderator, y'all better leave me alone. All right, let's see. What do we got here? You guys are all saying hello to each other. Paul is bringing up the white balance card. That's the one he has. So I have to buy that. Chasing away gremlins. Is that what she's doing? Listen, I'm afraid of gremlins too, okay? My Forza's very quiet. I've never heard the fan. Oh, she went upstairs to terrorize Tyler. That's what she went to do. All right, so we've been streaming for an hour and 10 minutes. We talked, I mean, we didn't talk Macs. I actually didn't get a chance to look at the whole video. If you guys didn't know, Apple released an 18-minute video. Well, they released the M2 chips on the Mac Mini and on the MacBook Pro. The 14-inch and the 16-inch MacBook Pro, they released the M2 chips. The Mac Mini, you can also buy the M2 Pro chip, which was not available in the first generation of the Mini. And so, yeah, I love these sessions too, right? They're good. They're good conversations to have though, because they're applicable for us as content creators, whether you're creating videos, video on demands, pre-recorded videos, or whether you're creating live streams. These videos to understand lighting and your ISO and your white balance and all of that stuff is really, really important. Because you got to get it dialed in. But no spiders. Don't say that. Don't say that. No, don't do that to me. Hold on. What's happening here? Definitely got distracted. This girl right here. So they released the Mac Mini M2 chip with the Pro chip. Some of the things, the stats, I got like 10 minutes into the 18-minute long video. So Apple, go to their website. You can see the statistics or, the 18-minute long video and it talks about some of the stats. So the M2 chip is 40% faster on the Mac Mini. That's as far as we got. I didn't get to see the stuff on the laptops yet. On the M2 chip of the Mac Mini, it's 40% faster from the M1. And if you still have an Intel Mac, so prior 2019 and above, thank you, Paul. So the Intel Macs, it is 80. They're claiming 80% faster. I saw that. I was like, what? I mean, I got rid of my Intel Macs when the M1 came out. 80%, that's twice as fast. They also said that the new M2 Mini has their, was it ProRes? Is that what I heard? The language. So for video editing, whatever the statistic is going to be, that the video editing is going to be much more smoother and a much more faster process on the M2 chips. And I feel like it looked like it. I didn't get a chance, but it looked like it. Paul, you can confirm. So what I saw from the I/O is that there's now four Thunderbolt on the M2 Pro, 4 Thunderbolt ports on the back of the M2 Pro and 2 USB ports. Where on the current M1 Mac Mini, we just had 2 Thunderbolt ports. And was it 2 USB? I sold mine. I have a Mac Studio. I have it mounted to the desk right under here. I love my Mac Studio. I got a Mac Studio 2 terabyte hard drive, 32 gigs. I upgraded the RAM, 32 gigs of RAM, and then it comes with a 32 core GPU. So with my 2 terabytes of hard drive space, and it's the Mac Studio with the Max chip, I'm good for a few years. And that has its own set of ports. I have 4 Thunderbolt ports, 2 USB-C ports, and 2 USB ports, and an HDMI port. So plenty of ports on the Mac Studio. But if I saw correctly, they also added more ports on the Mac Mini, which was much needed, absolutely needed. So if there's 4 Thunderbolt ports and 2 USB ports, that is huge. I would absolutely recommend I didn't look at pricing. I didn't get that far, so I don't know how much the Mac 2, and we're talking about the Mac 2 Pro, not the Mac M2 chip, the M2 Pro. The M2, I would say if you are in the market, get the M2 Pro, because if you're just looking at the M2, I would say look and see if someone is selling, like Paul may be selling his upgraded version of the Mac Mini. Paul has a 16 gigs RAM and 512 gig hard drive. He has 2 Mac Minis, by the way. So if you guys are in the market, I know Paul has been waiting for the Mac Mini to drop. So if you're interested and want an M1, Paul has 2 computers. I'm not sure which one he may be selling. I'm pretty confident to say, and Paul, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty confident to say that he's probably going to want to sell one of his M1 minis because I know he's been intentionally waiting for this M2 mini. And I will say that when the M2 mini, I was on a call, and when I got the text message, he sent me a text message with 4 exclamation points. The Mac Mini dropped. Exclamation, 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 exclamation. Needless to say, Paul was very excited about that Mac Mini. So the Mini 2 Pro has 4 Thunderbolt port, 1 HDMI, 2 USB, right? So the I/O on the M2 Pro definitely upgraded. That's a move. That's what I would have gotten. I got my Mac Studio, probably I think I've had it for like a month now. Had I not gotten the Mac Studio, and there's a lot that I have going on, so I'm glad that I made that investment. But let's say this released last month, I don't know if I would have necessarily gotten the Mac Studio. I think I would have probably gone for the M2 Pro and then just upgraded the RAM and upgraded the hard drive and stuff like that. So, some things to think about. And K-Walk says, I have an Intel Mini that might be up for sale. See? That might be good, depending on what you're doing. I mean, the Intel Macs are really good, but the problem is that the community that we're in, with what we do with live streaming and any hint of video editing or photography editing, then the M1, M2 chips, whether it's the M1 or the M2 chips, that's the way to go. If you, let's say, have kids in your family, or you know someone that isn't necessarily live streaming, the Intel computers are still really good. But when you start to get to heavy intensive processes like what we do with live streaming, then at that point, it's worth the investment. And even if you pick up a used M1, listen, my M1 Mini did me justice for 2 years. I just sold it, and I sold it to Dr. Elo. It stood in the family. I sold my M1 Mini to Dr. Elo because he needed a desktop computer. I just needed something that was a little bit more powerful, because now, between my own content creation, my own business, between being a coach with live streaming pros and being a community manager for Switchboard Live, and then the jobs that I'm doing, remote production and all of that stuff, I needed to spend money on myself so that I was never going to run out of memory, and it was going to not slow me down. Other than that, I would have stood with the M1, the Mac Mini, and then I'd be getting the M2, honestly. So I got some money before I buy one now. Very cool. That's the link. Didn't know the M2 came out in the Mac Mini. It just came out, Anthony, like at 1 o'clock. Well, I don't know. I know you're in Canada. I don't know what your time zone is. It came out at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It was just announced. So you're not late to the train, Anthony. What's cracking? How are you doing? I might sell instead of donating to my brother. Yeah. Look at this girl. Look at this girl right here. You need a new computer. Oh, wait. I brought an M1. I bought a Mac. Wait, hold on. Let me read this comment. I brought a maxed out M1 MacBook Pro when they came out, and it's been nothing but a headache ever since. So I'm hesitant. Why, Callie? My other new Mac gave me grief. Callie, is it you? First of all, the people that you have surrounding you, like Loria, like me, like Daniel, like all the nerds that you have surrounding you, you know I love you. Basically, every Mac I've purchased since 2020 has been a headache. I've been getting Macs since 2008 and never had any issues. Been having with my last 2 suited up ones. Interesting. I wonder, Kelly, what have your issues been? Anyway, let me know. I'm about to end the stream though. It ain't me. I think it is you. 100% it is you. Callie, I'm gonna thank you for coming. Hi, Callie. To say hi to you, first off. I just saw Callie. We were just in a meeting together about 3 hours ago. just about. Callie, I'm going to send you a link so you can come on the show as well. So you can come back. We were supposed to do the Halloween special. We didn't do the Halloween special, but we had so much fun. We definitely win things. I'll send you the link and you can schedule yourself. It usually gives you days for 60 days out. So let's get that going. David Hunt, what is cracking? How are you doing today? All right. Well, I think I'm going to end there. We've been streaming for an hour and 20 minutes. My food came, I ordered dinner, and my dinner came because I did not eat dinner because I've been in meetings back to back to back. I had a meeting from 4 to 5:30. Then I had a meeting from 6 to 6:15. Then I met with Daniel, Chi, and Daniel and I, we met very quick. Well, no, Daniel and I hung, it was supposed to be 5 minutes. And then it was like, I'm on my laptop. I had to bring my laptop because I was talking to Daniel upstairs. I brought my laptop here and I'm plugging in my headphones and turning on everything for the stream literally for like 35 minutes. And it was like 6:59. I'm like, Daniel, just message me. I got to start my stream. I'll talk to you later. So my dinner came right before the stream started and I haven't eaten any dinner. So I'm absolutely starving. Sunday, Janice Anderson is coming, ladies' night. So Sunday we have Janice Anderson, and then we are closing out the month on January 29th with Stephanie Liu, now known as Stephanie Garcia. Katie Fox is coming. K-Walk is coming. Kat Mulvihill is coming in February. Yvonne Heineman, Ask Evie, should be coming on. I know Callie will come on. We get the schedule, so I'm not worried about that. Ooh, Gretchen, I got to send you a link too, so we can talk about the progression in your live streaming and all of that good stuff. So Gretchen, I'll send you a link. And that's it. All right, you guys. It's been real. It was great talking all nerdy lights and stuff. Do you guys like my mic? I will do my next video. I'm loving the red. Loving the red. I'll do my next video. I'll do the video when I get the knife list tape to show you guys what the process actually is. And that's it. We're going to call it a wrap. I will catch you guys in these internet streets the way Ms. Diana Gladney says. You may shoot me links. May you shoot me links on IG for the different lights. I'm going to talk to you later on lenses. I got you. Yes, 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 Shayna. Absolutely. I will hit you up. We will talk. I'll send you some links on there. And don't go crazy spending too much money. Oh, I don't have an end scene. I'm going to give you guys my end scene for next week. Yes. Oh, thanks, Paul. If you don't know, join the Tech Talk community. You can support me by joining the membership down below. That's a super late call to action. You can join the community, our Tech Talk community, by joining the membership down below. I don't know if it's on this corner or if it's on that corner, but it's on one of the two corners. Or you can use this link to join the community and you get exclusive access. I try to give you guys, I try to be in touch with you guys. I let you know a little bit more of like what I'm doing from an entrepreneurial spirit about like my remote production gig and things like that and having conversations. So we will go from there and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye, y'all.